Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to EDFL Review in podcast form. Today we've persisted through a number of technical difficulties here at Coburg City Oval, but we are on the air for you, wrapping up the very first round of Essendon District Football League action. We're about to go down to the sidelines here and speak to the victorious coach Digby Morell after an emphatic win for West Coburg, 2019, 139 to the Northern Saints, 3-9-27. Teo Pellizzeri, my name, Adem Saricaoglu, Dave Kennedy, Adrian, Jamieson and Travis Poznachowski up in the box. And our sideline reporters, Adem, Russell and Claire Varley, are about to join us down on the sidelines. Adem, we've got you loud and clear down there, I understand. And you've got the coach of West Coburg, Digby Morell. If we've got you down there, guys, take it away.
Hi, Teo. Thanks for that. So we've got Digby Morell here, who's just coached his team to quite a victory. I guess after such a wonderful defeat, what is there to improve for the team, do you feel?
Oh, listen, we've got a lot of improvement. I thought we were very good in the first half. Our pressure was fantastic. We put them under a lot of pressure. They like to run and carry the ball, and we pressed up on them really hard, and we got a lot of turnover tackles, which was pleasing. I thought our third quarter was pathetic. Really dropped away. Just got away from what we wanted to stand for as a club, and obviously we finished really well in the last quarter. But to walk away with a 100-point win in the first game is a really pleasing effort, especially coming up from Div 1 last year.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. A couple of injuries tainted that big win. It was Jared Smith with the knee and Satanta Madoka, with the left ankle. Can you give us any more information on those injuries?
Oh, listen, both of them aren't too bad. I mean, we just had the opportunity with the game in the bank at half time, being 60 or 70 points up. Allowed us to be able to just take them off and look after them and make sure they're all right. We had one of our other guys, Soups, has got a split above the eye, so he'll be off to hospital, get a few stitches. But I don't think there's anyone that'll miss next week. We could just look after him, so we did.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us.
Well, guys, if you can give the headset to Digby, we'd love to ask him some questions up here in the box. And the coach of West Coburg will now speak to us up here. Digby, are you surprised at the gulf between yourselves and Northern Saints, all things considered, today?
Oh, listen, probably. I definitely didn't come today thinking we were going to walk away with a 100-point win. I thought we'd positioned ourselves really well with a great off-season. We've brought in some really good quality players who are really fit and strong. Obviously with them having Nat missing, probably dents their confidence to a little bit. But credit to our boys. I thought they played exactly the way that we set up to play the game, and our pressure was fantastic. And to get the 100-point win is probably a huge momentum builder for us.
Digby, congratulations on the win. Just saw that Ben Drummond walked past us. We've dubbed him the solar eclipse because his haircut very much reminiscent of an eclipse. He was pretty good out there today. Kicked 4 goals on the score sheet. Probably denied a fifth. What's his story? Where did he come from?
Listen, Benny's been around the club for 4 or 5 years. He came through the Cannon system, was a very good junior footballer. Went a little bit AWOL the last couple of years, and we really put it on him over the summer that if he was really serious about getting fit and getting into training and getting his attitude right, then he could play a lot of senior footy. And we knew, from someone that played twos for us all last year, we were going to get someone out of the box. And I was really pleased for Benny to get the reward that he deserved. It's a real starting block for him, and hopefully, we can see him as hopefully a 35-40 goal forward for us.
Diggers, Adem Saricaoglu up here. Congratulations on your win today.
Mate.
Look, our thoughts up here were Northern Saints were pretty insipid, and you guys obviously were able to take advantage of that.
Just above insipid, were we?
No, I'm talking the Northern Saints were. You guys obviously did well, but what can you take out of it, considering an opposition that we felt up here didn't really turn up to play today?
Oh, listen, I just said to the boys before, it's probably not a representation of Premier League football. In the third quarter, I thought we turned the ball over a lot of times, and big league clubs are going to make you pay. I think if we were playing a Greenvale, a Strathmore, Aberfeldy, we probably would have coughed up 8 or 9 goals over turnovers in that third quarter. So let's not kid ourselves. We know where we stand, but it's a really pleasing result for the boys at the start of the year to kick our year off.
And Diggers up against Strathmore next week. That'll be a real test for you at Strathmore, back home.
Home for who? Not me.
Well,
You're at home now, mate. It's Coburg City Oval.
beautiful, isn't it?
Is it the sort of game that you perhaps dreamed of playing when you first took the job last year, or?
What do you mean dreamed?
Well, the chance to go back to your old club and perhaps show them how far you've come as a coach.
Well, I'm in pretty good physical nick, so let's not just stick to coaching. So we might have a few surprises next week, but no, I'm really looking forward to it. I've got a fantastic relationship with the Strathmore Football Club and the guys who came through the system, and it's really pleasing to look at their list from last year and watch their game. Sorry, their list from Good Friday. That probably there's probably 5 or 6 boys who come out of the 18 system when I was there, and they've developed into good senior footballers. So I'm really looking forward to see how far they've come, but at the same time, it's a fantastic challenge for our boys, and they'll be ready to go next week and fired right up. And if we can sit ourselves two and zip, or I think we'll put ourselves in the position we want to push that top 4. I mean, everyone's talking top 6, and we're some garbage down the back, and we're just making up the numbers, but not on my watch and not with my boys. So. They're very proud of what they do and how they play their footy, and I think if sides take 5% off, we'll be all over them.
Well, Digby, thank you for being generous with your time today. Congratulations on the result, and good luck to your players who did leave the game injured today, backing up for next week, and thank you for joining us.
No worries, thanks, gents.
Thank you to Digby Morell down there on the sidelines with Claire Varley and Adam Russell. This is the EDFL Review podcast edition. You are listening to it on the EDFL social media networks. We've got the premier scores here, guys, so I'll get your thoughts as we go around the panel on each of these. A big comeback. Aberfeldy 16-13-109, defeating Greenvale 15-10-100. This was a bit of a seesaw game all day. Greenvale actually led by 22 points at three-quarter time, and I understand Adrian Jamieson extended that lead during the final quarter, only for Aberfeldy to stage a big comeback.
And apparently rumours kicked the last 2 to seal the win for Abbers, and Dave's got a big smile on his face with that one.
Oh, Kyle Count.
Kyle Count could be up this year. League medalist, wasn't your call earlier, Dave?
I just feel like he's put the Essendon
So
stuff behind.
the word is he kicked the last 2 goals of the game, both to put them in front and then kick the sealer to put them 2 scores ahead. It's almost a total reversal of the game last year, though, Adam, where it was Aberfeldy who threw the game away against Greenvale. Yeah,
it certainly was. And, look, well done to Abbers on getting the win. And, look, Greenvale, who I didn't put in my 4 this year, that just shows, we all agree that Abbers probably will be in the top 4. Greenvale might be struggling a bit more to make it, but there's... apart from perhaps 2 sides that we saw today, and maybe a couple others in this division, there's a top 6 or 7 teams that are really going to fight for these top 4 spots this year, and it's going to make for a great season. So a good effort by the Jets under a new coach, and Abbers just too good in the end.
All right, the next score we've got here, Maribyrnong Park 15-18-108, losing to Strathmore 19-8-122. Alex Grimer, crucial in the final quarter, stepping up when Strathmore needed a match winner. This one was... initially, a handy Strathmore lead in the first quarter, up 41-19 at quarter time. Marby came back to lead at half time. We suspected that there might have been wind at play at Monk Oval. Then Strathmore up by 2 goals at the last change, and then holding on to win by 14 points. Strathmore, the reigning premiers, on the board, but Adrian Jamieson, this is proof that Maribyrnong Park are much improved on the side that only just avoided relegation last season.
Yeah, and direct kicking. I mean, if they'd kicked straight, they would have won the game. What did Strathmore kick? Only 8 behinds?
19-8 for Strathmore.
Wow, that's
similar
where you work
to
on
the
your
grand
goal
final last year. If I remember correctly as well, Strathmore.
They won with fewer goals kicked. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next match. Airport West at home, but beaten by visiting Keilor. In the end, this one turned out to be quite one-sided, 24-20, 164 to Airport West 14-10-94, and that's after Airport West led 39-23 at quarter time. Apparently, Mick McGuan did spray the team, but they responded by kicking 7-2 to lead at half-time, and then 8-4 in the third quarter gave them arm's-length lead, and then they've gone on with the job and got a nice little percentage booster there in the end. Keilor, they've found a high score, and that was our one criticism of them coming out of the Good Friday game.
Mentioned on Web TV during the week that they only managed 16 scoring shots last week. Well, they've totally superseded that, and they've found avenues to goal. So maybe Keilor going to be a dangerous side moving forward.
4 scoring shots off, quadrupling that almost.
There you go. There's some
if
good
my
maths.
maths is right.
Now, this is the headline story of the day in Strathmore Community Bank Premier Division. Pascoe Vale 25-13, 163, smashing Avondale Heights 11-10-76. This was 10-3-63 to 2-3-15 at quarter time, and it was back to 40 points at halftime, but then Pascoe Vale kicked away again. Adam, you and I in the Web TV preview series were wondering how long it would take Pascoe Vale to get it together. Seems as like the pre-season practice matches were all they needed because they have hit the ground running, absolutely blitzing round one.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the goal kickers and, I suppose, best players for Pascoe Vale there, because we need to find out. That's a drastic improvement from what we saw less than 12 months ago. I mean, this club was fighting to stay up last year, and they've just gone and done that to a contender. And, yeah, huge question marks in Avondale Heights now. I mean, what was that from a club that should be contending for a flag?
Well, there was always, I mean, we saw them bow out in straight sets, and the depth was questioned last year with the two guns up forward and that. But Paco, Hardingham, they've recruited well, and you can't see the proof in the pudding till you get out on the park. And obviously today they had 22 or 21 contributors.
And just a quick word on today's game, guys. The broadcast game, West Coburg repeating the score 20-19-139, defeating Northern Saints 3-9-27. This one was close-ish at quarter time and then a blowout thereafter. Not the highest standard game, and as we heard the comments from Digby Morrell there, probably a game that his team shouldn't get too carried away with. Really, the blowtorch has got to go on the Northern Saints. A lot of worrisome signs out of this one. They were so great avoiding relegation last year, but it looks as though all of the magic has evaporated over the course of the summer.
Yeah. I think that they need to do absolutely everything in their power to get Nat Caruso right. He has to go back out there. He has to stop the flow of goals that was kicked against them today.
And one thing they did seem to lack was that on-field leadership, which we know Nat brings to the table.
Yeah, but there's nothing up forward. They had the couple of young kids and that playing, and which is great. But the interesting will be the benchmark, and it'll be interesting to see how Digby goes next week. But when Strathmore come up against West Coburg, if Strathmore have a 60-point win, for instance, then we're going to say, wow, that's a huge gap between top four, bottom four.
All right, let's go to Essendon 4 Division 1. You're listening to the EDFL Review podcast today. We are wrapping up round one, and Essendon 4 Division 1 closest match of the day in the end was Craigieburn 14-9-93, holding on to beat Glenroy 13-14-92. Now at quarter time, I was looking like an absolute mug for tipping Glenroy to get the upset in this one because Craigieburn led 7-2-44 to 1-3-9, but Glenroy persisted and chipped away. They were within 8 points at three-quarter time, and they've gone down by a point in the end. Craigieburn getting over the line to start their new era with the Cloaks, but it's probably a good sign for Glenroy, and maybe it's evidence there that Craigieburn are far from the finished article as well. But that is quite an interesting finish. I'd be very interested to know if Glenroy actually hit the front at the end of that one.
Yeah, they're another club that wasn't happy with some of the outside's assessment of how they were going to go this year. So they're another club that wants to sort of prove that they're still going to be up there. They were only in the grand final 2 years ago. So they could have been playing today because it was the Northern Saints that beat them. But they're going to go all right this year, Craigieburn, and they did what they had to do today. They got their win, and Glenroy's going to be up there anyway, challenging a lot of these sides, so it's not a result that surprises me a whole lot. Let's
turn our attention to the next game. This one was also close all day. Taylors Lakes 13-9-87, outlasted by West Meadows 14-14-98. This is a big win for West Meadows to prove that, yes, they are going to take the next step this season. Of course, Taylors Lakes knocked them out in the elimination final last year, and the Lakers narrowly missed out on going 2-0. So what do we make of that result there?
Yeah, Westie, I mean, they have recruited. People had them top three. Taylors Lakes not in the top, in the top three. Craigieburn, Dooders and Westie. It was a close game. So Taylors Lakes obviously took it up to them, but Westie have hung on and got the win, which is a big win up at Lionheart.
Yeah, it certainly was. And, getting knocked out by Taylors Lakes last year would have been a massive point of interest, I suppose, in the lead up to this game. And wouldn't be surprised if Dave Connell did use that for his boys. And, good start for the Tigers this year, who really do want to take the next step and try and get to Windy Hill.
Now, no clearances, no worries for Essendon due to Stars. They may not have been successful appealing a clearance dispute during the week, but it mattered not. 26-13, 169. A huge win against East Keilor, who unfurled their flag and then proceeded to find themselves 50 points down at quarter time. They ended up 6-5-41, so 128 points in the end. And if anything, Adrian Jamieson, I think it was, 2-1 in the final quarter, so that actually could have been a lot worse for East Keilor. But Dooders doing more or less what we all expected them to do, arriving in Division 1.
Well, you'd think so, and it always happens when a team drops back. It doesn't matter, it's sort of the differences between the two comps. If you can keep a majority, at least you're going to be competitive when you drop down, when you're coming from a higher grade. They've done the job. Maybe Dean Wallace shifted the back line to the forward line like a junior football game in the last quarter. I'm not sure, but they've done the job, and Dean Wallace is talking in quarters, not in games. He talks about quarters.
I know we like to overreact.
So he would have finished the day unhappy then, are you suggesting?
Well, yeah, he wouldn't have been happy with that last quarter. As Digby said, his third quarter, you're that far in front, you should be, but it's very hard to win by 150 points. You sort of drop off and you get brought back to a level. But, he would be disappointed.
Now, Adam, I want your thoughts, because I think this is the most standout score of the day. Oak Park, 29-129, defeating Hillside 3-13-31 by 98 points. It was 44-2 at quarter time. And we thought, okay, maybe there's some wind involved. 69-13 at half time. 110-19 at three-quarter time. So if anything, they've negated each other again in the final quarter. What's that? 3-1. But that is alarming for Hillside. And Oak Park, keeping a low profile over the off-season, obviously working for them in this instance because everyone is going to be paying attention to them now.
I'm happy to be stood corrected here, but I'm pretty sure last year Oak Park actually went all right against Hillside in their couple of games. So they obviously do match up well against the Sharks. And look, we have not heard a thing out of Oak Park all summer. I don't think they had a representative at the season launch, and if they did, we didn't get much out of them.
No, they didn't. But I mean, I spoke to Ben Chapman in the off-season, and it was like any other coach. He was happy with some of their recruiting, but disappointed to have lost Jack Kennedy to Keilor. They lost a gun. They brought in a couple of players who they thought would be good, but it's not like they were pulling up trees.
But let's not forget that they lost some pretty close games last year. They were
7 by 20 points or less.
They were thereabouts. So maybe all they needed was an off-season to really, I guess, let things gel, get things together, another season playing with each other. They were thereabouts last year. They just couldn't quite get over the line. Maybe they're the new North Melbourne.
And Adam, do we jump off Hillside after 2 games? I mean, we both had them in the top 4, and here they are zipping 2, and neither of them were close.
Look, as much as we can talk up Hillside, at the end of the day, they're still Hillside. I mean, yes, they won a flag 2 years ago, but ever since they've been a senior club for, a decade and a half, 2 decades now, Hillside have been a senior club. They've done nothing. So they've had average year last year. Looks like so far they're going to have a disappointing year this year. So perhaps we've overrated.
I'm not jumping off yet, but they've spotted themselves a long way back, haven't they?
They certainly have.
Absolutely.
And like I said, they are Hillside. They're not known to be a successful unit.
Now, let's finish with Strathmore Community Bank Division 2. Late kick-off, Keilor Park versus Roxburgh Park, so check the EDFL social media for the scores there. Jacana, 8-11-59, beaten by Hadfield, 24-16, 164. This was 8-1 in the final quarter, turning a 57-point game into 105 points. That's really bad from Jacana. We thought that they were going to be a lot more competitive today. And Hadfield sending a message down in Division 2.
Well, again, the team dropping back is too strong. It's just another example of that. I thought Jacana would have gone a lot better, but Hadfield, new coaches, kept a lot of players from last year. They had a lot of injuries last year, so yeah, that's a real interesting.
That surprises me a lot.
Yeah, it did surprise me as well.
I thought they'd be a lot closer than that.
Well, it's a good sign for Hadfield. Moonee Valley trailed at quarter time. Burnside Heights won their first quarter of the season, and then it was one-way traffic largely thereafter. Moonee Valley 20-21, 141, defeating Burnside Heights 7-11-53. That's probably par. I mean, if you were setting a line, that would have been maybe over. I thought Burnside Heights were going to be a bit closer than 88 points, but I guess Moonee Valley would have expected nothing less. Burnside Heights, I hope they're disappointed with that. especially given they let it quarter time.
Yeah, for sure. It's another 13 goals, but that's probably on par where they're at.
And this is the interesting one. Coburg District 17-13-115, defeating East Sunbury 8-12-48. Is this East Sunbury much improved, or Coburg District's rolling out very slowly and maybe not taking the game on as much as we would have thought?
We don't know what Coburg District's brought to the table today, but
I hope
20 scoring shots for East Sunbury. That would almost be a record for them.
I hope that's a good sign for East Sunbury, and Coburg Districts, I guess, we'll see how they go when they play the likes of Roxburgh Park and Moonee Valley and Hadfield, but not the worst start to the season for East Sunbury. So, guys, as we wrap up our EDFL review show, just a final thought on round one. What do you think's the headline that'll be leading EDFL Web TV on the YouTube channel this week? Adem, Saricaoglu.
Nobody has a clue.
Dave Kennedy.
Northern's got no one.
And Adrian Jamieson.
Dave Kennedy is the face of EDFL Web TV.
Right,
All right, thank you very much for your company again. Apologies for some of the technical issues today. Big thank you to Livecast for getting us to air for a lot of today's game, and hopefully we'll be back as normal on Northwest FM next week. My name's Pellizzeri. On behalf of the broadcast team, Claire Varley, Adam Russell, Travis Poznachowski, Adrian Jamieson, Adem Saricaoglu and Dave Kennedy, thank you for your company. Keep an eye on @EDFL Footy on Twitter and Instagram, and also facebook.com/EssendonDFL. And make sure you watch Web TV. We are going out to the clubs this season. youtube.com/EDFL Footy. That's it for now. Goodbye. That's it for now. Goodbye. That's it for now. Goodbye.